Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of NintendoFuse's Industry Talk. I'm your host, Barry, and today I am joined by a very special guest, Mr. Thomas Mutch.
Hi.
Now, Thomas Mutch is the mechanical designer at Artistic Entertainment Services, and that's okay if you probably never heard of them. You have most likely seen some of Thomas's wonderful works. But before we get into what Thomas has done, Thomas, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in this industry?
Okay, so I studied a degree in mechanical engineering at Cal Poly Pomona, and while I was there, I actually worked on their Rose Parade float for several years from 2015 through 2017, and I loved the program so much that I actually became the alumni historian for that, and I record all the history for that. If you want to check it out, go to CP Rosewood on YouTube. I have footage of every float we ever done there. But what I did on the program is I actually self-taught myself electrical with my mechanical engineering background, so I built a lot of animated props on the float. I did the wiring. The I worked with some others on the programming, though some others mainly did the programming. I was just there to help make sure the mechs looked right, but I did actually design and build a lot of the animated props on the floats. Because of that, I got to transition to artistic entertainment services because they are a rose float company and they needed a technician at the time to do some wiring for some Disney jobs. And what happened is I worked there several months as a technician, and they had a project that they needed some help on the design side. I was like, well, I have a degree in mechanical engineering, and I've designed a bunch of mechanisms here. So they actually moved me over to the design department. So I had my foot in the door, got into design, and I actually ended up building a lot of mechanisms for Tokyo Disneyland's It's a Small World as my first design project out of college, which coincidentally was what I told people I wanted to do while studying for my degree. So just like first one out the gate, hit my peak.
You
But
got
then I
lucky
went
right there.
on with the company. Some of our big clients are Disney, Universal, Nintendo, the Oscars, Rose Parade. We do a lot of different events. And one of my favorite ones was definitely Nintendo's E3 and the It's a Small World project, and also working with the Jim Henson studio to do a Comic Con promotion for their Dark Crystal TV show.
That
Because
is
I actually got to go and tour the Creature Shop down in Burbank, I believe it is, or no, I think it's Burbank, somewhere out there. Got to tour the Creature Shop and actually got to meet Oscar the Grouch and stuff. So it's
color
really
me
fun.
jealous. As a child of the 80s, Jim Henson was our childhood. Dark Crystal, a great movie from our childhood, and Sesame Street and the Muppets and all that. So
And the
yeah,
Netflix TV show was phenomenal.
I'm so jealous of that. That is really cool. But as jealous as I am about you getting to visit the Creature Shop, and as near and dear to my heart as Jim Henson is, I am even more jealous that you got to work with Nintendo with E3 2019. So tell me about that. Like, tell everybody about that. What was that like and that experience like working with Nintendo?
Oh, it was phenomenal because before that E3 job, because we do the E3 job for them every single year, we do the props for it and stuff. But yeah, that was just my first year actually doing it for them. Because normally my coworkers got to do it, but since I'm the huge gamer, I actually got to do a lot of it. My coworkers were designing parts of it with me. I actually got to do the whole atrium for the Luigi's Mansion 3. I got to do one of the four Link's Awakening sets. My coworkers did the other three, and I got to do some modifications on the Score Bunny, and it was really cool. But before I did that job, I actually did their Yoshi's Crafted World PAX East props as well that year.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got to do the internal structuring and stuff for the Yoshi, the Poochies, and yeah, it looked
That
cool.
is that is so amazing. Like I remember, I'm sure you can even go back and see our Nintendo Fuse coverage of that where we talked about, like Luigi's Mansion setup and the Pokemon, and obviously I'm a huge Zelda nut, so Link's Awakening is my favorite game, and those little dioramas I just wanted to own. Like I wanted to keep those. So I am, first off, enamored with your work because I think you did a great job. But just that is so cool, and I haven't seen the Yoshi thing, but now I'm gonna have to look it up. But did you get to keep any of that? Like, where is that stuff now?
Nintendo actually keeps it all. Though
Ah, of
there's
course.
some stuff that gets thrown away after, but all the actual characters and the props and stuff actually goes with them to different events. Like you'll see on some of my profiles and stuff, like my Instagram, my profile pic is me with the Luigi I designed. And that Luigi and the Luigi, although the stage and stuff, the atrium got thrown away after, the Luigi and Luigi actually toured the country for different events such as Comic Con down in San Diego.
Ah,
So I
that
got
is
to
so.
see people posing with the stuff I designed, and it was pretty awesome. I was like, "Oh, what event was that? Oh, this was Comic Con. Oh, what event was that?" And they just kept saying different events.
That
Same
is
with
great.
the entire Link's Awakening sets. Those also toured. The Pokemon did. Yeah.
So you get a little bit. You start with E3, but now you're at all these other events. Your
Yes.
work goes to all the
Yes.
other events, and of course, 2020 being the year it was without cons. Hopefully, 2021 is a little bit better for that. Do you?
I sure hope so. One of my most crushing moments in my whole entire career was we were just so close to finding out what the 2020 event was going to be and what we were going to design for it. And then all of a sudden, E3 got canceled. I was like, no, that's my favorite event of the year.
Oh man.
So didn't get to design anything that last year.
Now I've never been to E3 personally. Was E3 2019 your first year actually attending?
Yes, it was.
What was that experience like?
It was actually really cool. Because I actually did it for Nintendo. Nintendo themselves gave me the pass, so I actually got to go in before the crowds did, just a little bit.
Ah,
Although I couldn't actually go to like I could wait in line for the booth, and then once they let the crowds in, everyone gets to go inside. But yeah, so I was first in line for the Luigi's Mansion one, and I got to see the how it turned out firsthand because we build it in the shop and then send it over. So I get to see it before all the lighting and all that stuff. Just all the lights turned on. It looks way different when it's actually there, and it's just spectacular when it's installed. Our installers do an amazing job.
what was the experience like? I'm assuming this has got to be similar to like an artist at an artist gallery, just watching people talk about their painting on the wall. What was it like at E3, seeing people come in and like, oh my God, there's Luigi. Oh my God, look at Luigi's Mansion. Oh my God, look at Link and look at the Score Bunny and all that. Like, what was that experience like?
Well, what was pretty funny is since I got to go in beforehand, I actually talked with a lot of the people who were running the booths. Like, yeah, I actually designed. They're like, whoa, no way, that was so amazing. And then I've had people like hit me up later on Facebook and stuff, be like, oh, you got to go with the Luigi statue? That's so awesome. Well, yeah, I designed it. You did what? Yeah,
What about like the crowd, like as they came in? Did you get to talk to any of the crowd there, or did you just,
I
or
mostly
even like
was
listen to
trying to go
them?
around like testing out all the games myself since I do a YouTube channel, Much Games, and so I wanted to play them before my friends did, so I sort of brag to them like, "Hey, I got to try this game." My friend's a huge Luigi's Mansion fan, so
Oh man, that
yeah.
that
But
is
what I do whenever I go to one of these events, though, actually just people watch a bit as well. So instead of actually like talking with them as much, I mostly just love just sitting back and just getting like a panoramic video, just seeing people like looking around and just pointing out stuff. Yeah.
that is awesome. Now I know this isn't the only thing you've done with Nintendo, and I know you can't talk about it much, but I think we should mention Super Nintendo World. That is awesome. I know you can't say what you've done specifically or any of that, but what was that experience like? I'm sure you could talk about what it was like.
Well, at first, like they didn't tell me it was for Nintendo Land. They was like, "Hey, can you design this right here?" And then it was like a couple weeks into it, it's like, "Oh, this is going in a couple of the Nintendo Lands." It wasn't going in all of them. We're actually picking up the project from a different person. So we only got to design one element for it.
Okay.
But knowing where that element is going for the attraction it's going in, I'm excited. So I've only seen a small glimpse of where it's going and stuff, so I haven't seen the entire thing, but it made me so excited for what I know, and I cannot wait to ride it.
Oh, I want to know so badly, but I know you can't say. I know we all have to wait, and I know
Yeah,
2020.
gotta do a thin line with disclosures and stuff like that.
Absolutely,
I'm
absolutely. But
playing it as safe as possible.
playing it safe, but knowing that, after seeing your work with E3, just in what you've done with Nintendo, knowing that that same quality is going into, Super Nintendo world is awesome, and that gives me so much more confidence. And I hope that the Floridian one starts getting up and running soon.
And I
But
do
yeah,
want
that
to
is.
say though, it's not just me doing all this stuff
Oh
at the
yeah.
company as well. We have a whole department, like we have an art department. I'm more of the mechanical side to actually take what the art department draws and renders. They send it over to a machine to cut out the external fixtures you see. A paint department basically finishes it fantastically. Carpentry does great work as well. But me, I'm actually like designing all the props and set pieces and stuff from the inside. But a lot
See,
of the
I think
extra,
that's the harder part too, because I can look at a statue and say, "Wow, that looks great." I can scribble that on a paper, but oh wait, it's moving, it's I could not even begin to tell you how that works. So
oh yeah.
yeah, obviously it's a team, and your team has done exceptional work. Obviously with Nintendo, with E3, and Super Nintendo World. But what other projects have you guys worked on? Like, have you been a personal part of? You mentioned some other companies, but what are the things are you proud of and said, yeah, I did this, I worked on this?
Well, definitely my most proud one job of any time was the Tokyo Disneyland It's a Small Worlds ride. Because, like I said, when I was studying my mechanical engineering degree, and people are like, well, what are you going to do with it? I was like, I really want to design mechanisms on the side of rides, such as Small World. That was literally my verbatim thing in the first job out of college I got in mechanical design was that. And I loved it so much that I actually flew myself out with my dad to Tokyo to go see it.
That is awesome.
He still regrets a little bit that I had him write it 3 times, but he was so proud. He got the song stuck in his head so
that's,
badly, though.
I can't go on that ride anymore just because of that earwig.
Oh yeah, but man, I just kept riding it more and more because I was just so proud of it.
Well, of
And
course.
one of my favorite moments was when the people from Anaheim actually looked at him like, "That's actually working better than the one we have in Anaheim here."
Well,
So
maybe a future gig there, repairing the Anaheim version.
maybe,
What other
but
projects though?
the one mech that I was really proud of there was the boat and kids, like the boat with all the kids in it, because it doesn't just do like a little way back and forth. It does like a cylinder or sort of like a motion where it's like rocking as it's bouncing up and down. I can't say any more than that for how it was done, but
No, of course.
yeah.
Well, any other projects besides It's a Small World that
Uh,
you've worked on over the
the
years?
If you've been to Disneyland
Yeah.
since 2017, the new Dumbo Archway.
Oh,
Recently got to do some stuff with the ride that's got revamped. Not sure if I can say which one yet, but uh, another one that premiered was the Magic Happens Parade. I actually got to design a lot of the Princess and the Frog float that had the counter rotating rings, and that was just such a tight space to design that in, and I'm just so proud of how it turned out,
that is
especially at
so.
night.
Yeah, I've only been to Disneyland once because I'm an East Coast, guy, so I usually go to Florida. But
Some stuff
I
in Florida I got to work on was
oh,
the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. I mostly did just static props for that, and that was mostly our Florida branch, but I got to have a little bit of my hand in that, as well as the Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. I did a lot of the surrounding walls and stuff.
that
Got
is
to work
so
on the one
cool.
that opened to introduce Lightning. A different company took care of the Lightning part.
So you literally have had your hands all across the world, really, between Tokyo and the United States. That is so cool. So you've obviously worked with Disney, you've worked with Nintendo, you've worked with Universal, all big companies. But now I gotta ask you this question: what would be, and I know you already started with It's a Small World, you did that, this might be the answer to your question, but right now if someone came to you, doesn't matter who, just whomever came to you and said, we want you to work on a project, what would be your dream project? What would you want whomever this person to be tell you, here's what you're going to work on next?
Well, before I answer that, I just want to say after the Small World one, my next dream one I said was, I want to do something for NintendoLand, and that just happened last year. So yeah, I got to think about that one for a little bit. But I honestly think one of my favorite things that I would want to do is to do something for Jungle Cruise in
Oh,
Disneyland, because Jungle Cruise is my favorite ride because I love puns.
oh yes.
So I would love to do some sort of revamp thing on Jungle Cruise. I don't care how small it is. I don't care if it's just making a tree for it or something. I think that would just be fun.
That is definitely a good one, and a very long-lasting ride. I mean, that is a staple. It even had a Weird Al song, right? So
Yep.
it's pop culture at this point.
Weird Al
Uh,
is my favorite artist too. I've seen him twice live, got to meet him, get a photograph, everything.
there you go. Then you just call you Skipper Dan.
I just love how Disney actually gave him a skipper outfit,
Oh
like an
yeah,
official one for that song.
it's fantastic, and I'm glad to see companies like Disney and Nintendo being a little more open with their IPs and stuff like this to allow, the real innovators to come in and create and design some of these really cool things. But speaking of creating, let's move on a little bit to a more personal level for you. A little game came out this past year called Mario Kart Live,
Oh
and
yes.
uh, and you have just taken this and you're running with it. So I got to find out, how did this come to be? What made you look at this and say, this is my next personal endeavor?
Well, what happened was during because this past year California's been under extremely strict COVID restrictions, so I can't really do much. My company's basically hasn't had nearly as much work. I've actually got laid off back in May, or not May, March, with a lot of people, but I still get called in every now and then to get a little project here and there when it comes in. So it's just the company's bare bones right now. A lot of other companies like Disney's laid off a bunch. Everyone has in California because of just how strict the regulations are right now. And once we get more work, then I can go back. But I've been kind of bored just YouTubing most of the time to make money and stuff. And pretty much, I mostly do long plays on my channel, which are the entire games, no commentary. I do little subscriber challenges here and there where I let subscribers challenge me to a game of their choice. I do like little satirical grind my games rant. I'm not sure if you saw the one I did with Bug Snacks where I actually turned a Jack in the Box hamburger into a bunger.
I did not, but now I need to go watch
Yeah,
that.
little stop motion. I also did a stop motion Lego Dimensions one back in the day. I
Oh,
think you
so
like that with your Lego Dimensions ring. And I also do a thing called Lame Plays where my friends and me subscribed, or not subscribed, surprise one another with a really crappy, weird, obscure, challenging game and just film the live reactions. So I've been doing a lot of that stuff and I've been doing it for months. And I really miss designing stuff for the entertainment industry because that is one of my passions. So I just love doing that. And since pretty much every single time I got a new job interview and stuff, and it was very close, like, okay, can you start in a couple weeks here? Newsom, the governor of California, actually announced, okay, we're actually tightening the shutdown even more and prolonging it even more and stuff. So each time that happened, it was, I got a call from the company, hey, we can't have you in right now.
oh
So it's like
man.
each time, so it's been very rough. So because pretty much have been unemployed there, done been doing YouTube and stuff, I was like, I just want to do something for me here. And I got Mario Kart Live, and my first one idea was I have all these games. I want to make a video game course. And that's exactly what I set out to do. So I took up my entire living room and my den and just made a course with all my video game, well, not all, half of my video games, all the ones in disc cases. There you go. And just laid them out on the track, did a little test with some cheap like shovelware Wii games just to make sure the cases wouldn't get damaged. And once I saw, okay, this is actually feasible, I went all out and just moved in half my collection over there and actually made a course where I drove over it, put a Virtual Boy, a Rob on it, and stuff like that. And it's called Much Games Raceway. It was a fantastic course. And when I saw some people liking it, I was like, you know, how can I be the best course designer on YouTube? I want to do that. So I had an idea. What if I turned a real life course or a course from the game into a real life course? Since the ones you saw on YouTube, you could see everyone's living rooms, you could see all this stuff. It was just like little cardboard cutouts and stuff. But I wanted to make it so it felt like you were actually in the game, but in real life. So I took my experience that I had throughout all these years of designing stuff and did just that. Used some plexiglass panels, some LED rainbow lights, Actually, the same video games used in my Much Games Raceway were used in that Rainbow Road course as well. Though you can't see it, but I figured stacking them 3 high around the whole perimeter not only supported the plexiglass panels and let me have a little lip for my practice run so I wouldn't just fall off the course, but it also was the perfect height to diffuse lights. And it gave you that beautiful Rainbow Road effect. And I created the SNES one because one, it's the simplest and had sharp 90-degree turns.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it was a fun challenge. And three, it was the most feasible to build, and it had thwomps I could mechanize. And that was one thing I wanted to do to stand or make my channel stand apart to every other course builder on YouTube, is to actually have mechanized components.
Yeah, the thwomps really got me. And the lights were cool, but when I saw the thwomps, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. This Rainbow Road is just phenomenal. And you didn't stop there. You could have just stopped there, but you didn't. You followed it up with Chill Chill Village. Let's talk a
Yes.
little bit about that.
Yes. So then I went on to Chill Chill Village there, which I wanted to do. I already had my YouTube Cup with those first 2 races, and I still have 2 more courses I'm building for that YouTube Cup. I'll get to that in a second. But the third course I made was for my holiday cup, and I'm planning on doing 4 holidays for that cup. So I started off with Chill Chill Village, which used pretty much every Christmas decoration in my house, minus the lights and stuff. Because one thing I learned from the Rainbow Road is originally I was actually going to project a star pattern, like a blue star pattern everywhere, so it looked like you're in a galaxy. But I learned very quickly that it looked really weird on the game's camera. So on my actual camera, which I use to record all the top-down footage in every race I do, I actually do the intro just like the game. I do an outro where you see me racing on it. But from that perspective, it looked really cool, made a whole star field. It didn't look that good on the game though. So I basically nixed that idea. So pretty much I couldn't do a hanging light structure because that's one thing I was originally going to do with Chill Chill Village, was sort of make like one of those tunnel of lights. But it just didn't turn out that well. So I scrapped the idea. I originally used Connect for the structure. I'll bring it back in a future one, but use LED strips instead of point lights. But
Makes
yeah,
sense.
one thing I want to do was, since Christmas villages, they normally look best at night, right?
Of course.
But the game doesn't really have the best perspective at night as well. With the camera, it turns the video a little bit fuzzy, but it looks really good during the daytime lit up as well. So I had the idea of, well, what if I actually did a day-night course? Because there's some Mario Kart courses like the Animal Crossing Village where it plays 4 different versions of it. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I think it would look really cool if I have a daytime version and a nighttime version. And in the middle, you'll see a little transition like, but wait, winter has come.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I showed my wife last night, and she really loved like the Peanuts characters, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Like how you just created this environment, and it works. It really works, even with like a lot of the stuff happening on the screen. You can still see the village as you drive past, and it's so atmospheric and so well done. And you could have stopped, but you
Yes.
didn't. You didn't, and you went from, I think even way more ambitious from Chocho Village to your next project.
Oh, yes. Well, like I said, I created one of my favorite courses of all time. That was the SNES Rainbow Road. But I have one other course that I think is even more fun to play on than that one, and that's Baby Park. So I'm currently building it. By the time this video is posted, it'll probably already be on my channel because I'm pretty much going to be done in a couple days here. And I'm going all out on this video. I actually bought a 4x8 sheet of wood just to make a nice little oval so I could actually lift it as well and transport it. Because one thing I want to do is actually take it to challenge other YouTubers. Be like, hey, do you want to race on my course and collab? So I'm trying to
That's
make it as portable as possible. So that's why I'm using a 4x8 sheet. And I'm really hoping to get some big YouTubers in the LA area to challenge me. Like, I'm not sure if he'll do it, but I reached out to Gerard from the Completionist, just waiting
hmm
to hear back, see if that goes. But I think out of everyone, he would be the one who would actually accept the challenge. And for this baby park, like I said, I'm going all out, trying to top all the other ones I did. I'm trying to raise the bar with each one of these videos to be like, you can watch these other videos here, but mine are next level, and I want to keep raising that level each time. I'm actually mechanizing the entire surroundings of this course. I made using the same erector set I used in the Thwomp video to make a couple things. Like, it's gonna not be the double dash or DS versions. The only thing I'm taking from that is just keeping the course flat instead of at an angle, because the slope, the cart just does not like that too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just has trouble turning on the bottom part. It can go up, it can go down. It just turning around the oval doesn't like the slope. But yeah, making the little hat hut with the wings going on the side. I'm doing the Bowser Jr. ship, the Viking ship. That one I'm actually making out of Kinects, a servo, and even going to have his little arms move as my plan. I'm going to try using Play-Doh to shape everything. So no idea how well that's going to turn out, because I'm going to do that tomorrow, the next day, once I get all the sets. I ordered a few motors to do all this. I'm going to actually have a PVC archway so it can actually support the roller coaster. Oh, I should mention that. I got a Kinect Ferris wheel set. I got a Kinect swing set. And I'm basically using a hodgepodge of 4 different Kinect roller coaster sets to make the roller coaster that goes looping through
Oh
with
my
4
God.
different cars. Probably going to be doing 4 different at random times, just so it's always has at least one on video at each time. Yeah.
It's so awesome.
So I'm using Kinects in the middle just to sort of like hang down from the PVC structure to support it. And this is probably one of my more ambitious things, is I'm actually going to try using a little camshaft, or not camshaft, a crankshaft, in order to make the little wings on the side of the PVCs,
Oh
as
my
well
God.
as, there's all the toads on the inside cheering.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use a camshaft to try to actually lift all the toads at random intervals to make it look like they're bouncing in the stands.
Oh my God.
And I'm even gonna have like the little. I still got to make sure this works because I'm not sure with the PVC space. I ordered some new motors. I'm hoping they fit. If not, I'll just use some servos. But I got the little gears and the little key inside the PVC pipes themselves as well.
Oh
And
my.
that's every mechanism I'm gonna have. Oh, I also bought a Princess Peach's castle toy set just so you have the castle too.
Yeah.
I
That
nixed the water idea though because I figured you wouldn't really see it that well.
that is amazing though. Holy crap. Now you actually answered or kind of touched on the question I have. Um, these courses after you're finished recording your video, are you saving any of them or are they just being dismantled?
Well, the Much Games Raceway, that one got completely dismantled because
Yeah.
I have every piece still because it's literally just my video game collection and nothing extra. The Much Games or the Chill Chill Village, that one was a little bit tougher to do just because of the time crunch for it. Because I had that idea and the space needed. My mom sort of wanted her village set back pretty soon after that because I literally took that out of the house, put it in the video for a couple days, just to get it back in time for Christmas Eve. Yeah. And she had it very nicely arranged. It looked beautiful. I was like, "Can I use it?" I really like how it's set up, but I'll make that sacrifice for you. So I was really thankful for her to let me actually use the village for that video because it wouldn't be the same without it.
You needed the village. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's part of the atmosphere.
And she
'Cause it,
actually watched it a couple times. She's like, "Oh, look how good my village looks! Look how amazing it is!" And all those peanut stuff as well. That's all hers. She's a huge Snoopy fan. We actually watched the Christmas special, Thanksgiving special this year. Yeah, I'm glad that Apple actually allowed PBS to use it and show it because that's a tradition that we
that's
love
a
doing.
tradition. Yeah, absolutely.
Rainbow Road, although I did dismantle the entire thing, and I still have every piece where I could reconstruct it if I want to, except for the wooden beams for the thwomps, because that was literally just some scrap wood I really quickly put together.
I'm
But
sure
yeah,
you could do it better the next time.
yeah, but I still have every panel kept for the plexiglass because that stuff was expensive. They're all frosted as well to give that nice diffusion. So literally with like if someone like Gerard the completionist wants to challenge me to this, I can actually bring this to him and set it up in his space and then race on both if we wanted to.
You know, it'd be cool if you can like you take your backyard and you just make different courses. Like, you know, mini golf and you have all the different mini golf and you go hole 1, 2, 3. But instead you have Mario Kart courses and you go 1, 2, 3 around and every one's a different Mario Kart course. That would be really fantastic.
I think so as well, but the signal actually has trouble doing it outside.
Really?
Not like it just can't reach as far. With something as small as Baby Park, you're okay. But the length of Much Games Raceway, that was having a bit more trouble for if I go that length outside. Unless you're like standing in the middle of it driving that way.
That is so
But
weird.
like
Uh,
even if you looked at my Rainbow Road course with the signal, you could see like right around Thrump Corner, it just sort of had a small glitch on the second lap for the recording.
Hmm,
And that was just because it barely got lost signal for a split second there. And but
that's
that was because I had to tuck my switch and all my recording setup way off in the corner so there was no light bleed onto the course because I wanted it as dark as possible to make it the best.
that
So a
makes
lot of
sense.
times I had to record it completely blind for what items and stuff I was using. And this is how I do all of them. I do it off to the side with a pro controller, not looking at my switch screen. And then I'm like, okay, how did that look? And I go watch the video after. He's like, oh, I went off the course here. I got to record it again so it looks perfect.
See, I thought you were actually recording like this, but that's interesting. You're recording using the Pro controller without looking at the screen.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Well, a
that's
lot of these
interesting.
courses, because I'm actually doing this in a really small space. So I don't have a lot of room at my house to make very far out courses. Like with the Much Game Raceway, that was the one that I could actually look at my Switch screen the entire time while doing it. Rainbow Road, not so much. Though my parents actually did get to try it out, and they were using the Switch screen the entire time. But you do go a little bit off course there. But like I said, I did put an extra lip on the side. So even if you go off course a little bit, you're still on the track and not falling over because it was a little bit high off the ground.
Have you ever had any where you were recording and you did actually go over like, oop?
Oh, definitely, a lot of times. Oh, the scariest moment for me was when I had a friend try out the Rainbow Road, and he basically rage quit there and just dropped my Switch on the ground. I was like, no! Luckily, it wasn't broken at all. No
Oh,
damage whatsoever, but it just hit the hardwood floor. I was like, no!
what is wrong with people? Hold on to that. That is $300
Yeah.
right there. You don't just throw it down.
Well, he just dropped it like he's like it was right when he went off the edge of the course, so not only did the cart fly off, but then the Switch dropped. I was like, okay, you're using the Pro controller from now on, because if you break that, it's not as big a deal.
Yeah, that's a less of an expense for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so since you've obviously done Rainbow Road, you've done Chocho Village, you've done, you're doing Baby Park now. Is there any other courses? And I know if you don't want to say because you don't want to give anything away to any other
Oh, I'll give you a
competitor.
little hint, a little
Okay.
teaser, but it's one that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do yet. I just have some ideas in my mind.
Okay.
But Baby Park is going to be the third of the four courses
Mhm.
for the YouTube Cup, and I plan on finishing the YouTube Cup in a couple months here.
Okay.
And I'm going to recreate one or a franchise that's never been in a Mario Kart. I'm going to make a course that's brand new based on an old IP.
Ooh, well, obviously it's not Excite Bike because that was in there. Maybe
And Excite Bike is also one of my favorite courses as well. So what I'm planning on doing is actually because basically the same length as Baby Park.
yeah.
I'm going to have one part of this 4x8 board painted Baby Park, and I'm going to flip it over and do Excite Bike and make little ramps and stuff that I can switch out.
Oh,
So it's all
perfect.
the different variations of the ramps. It's one that
It's
you probably won't guess.
oh man, see this is a challenge
But
now.
once you see it, you're probably going to love it.
Is it a Nintendo IP?
Actually, no.
Oh, see, I was thinking Nintendo IPs.
Oh,
Oh, well, then it could be Outrun, or it could be
but another one I actually
Pit
have
Stop.
planned as well. But like I said, a lot of these custom builds are actually pretty pricey. Like the Rainbow Road cost me over 400 bucks. Baby Park right now, probably by the time I finish, it's going to be in the $800 $900 range. I'm already at $700, but I still have because I like to scenic this stuff out as well. Because that's
Um,
one thing I want to be different than everyone else is I don't want you to be able to actually see the entire room. like even the Much Games Raceway, you can see the room over the course. But at least the course itself, when you're looking from the car's perspective, it looks like you're in a course because you have all the games lining the sides. So
Yeah.
for Baby Park, I want to actually get a little cardboard, like the project boards and stuff they use back in science fairs. Put a little blue felt, maybe put some hills with some googly eyes. Mario hills.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen with the My Nintendo points? They have the little billboards and stuff you could purchase. Have you
I
looked and
actually
thought of
did
that?
purchase those, but I don't want to use them on this course yet.
Oh, okay.
A course that I actually want to create in the future as well is Yoshi Circuit from the Game Boy Advance. I think it
Okay.
is Game Boy Advance. Maybe it's Double Dash. It's in Mario Kart 8 as well.
The one where you're actually driving on the Yoshi Island, where it's the Yoshi's
The
face and
Yoshi's
the Yoshi body.
outline.
I think that was Double Dash.
Yeah. Someone already did it, and they did a fantastic job at it. I just want to do it better. But yeah, there's actually a YouTuber, I forget his name, but they actually did that course when the game first came out. And they were the first ones to recreate a course from the game itself.
That's cool. So there's like a whole new genre, of videos popping up. Who's gonna do the best version of existing Mario Kart courses in Mario Kart Live?
Yep.
Uh, that's fantastic. I can't wait to see what else you guys create and with Baby Park. I'm super excited to see that come out and every other future endeavor. And if you want to see these races, you need to check out YouTube, youtube.com/muchgames. You can see Thomas's channel. All these are there. Fantastic, fantastic work. Absolutely. Um, if you like what you've seen and you enjoy Thomas's work and you've seen his stuff at E3 and all that, and you just want to follow him, feel free. You could follow him at Twitter at Much Games. You can follow him on Instagram at 2TOO much for the number for you, just the letter U. So check him out there. And again, youtube.com/muchgames. And if you did want to see the Rose Float stuff he was talking about, it's CP Rose Float. It's the spaces. So just search for that with spaces and check out that channel. Thomas, you've done some amazing work, and I very much look forward to seeing everything you create in the future. And we'll have you back on with some new stuff as they come out. And I can't wait to see what in Super Nintendo World you were a part of when that's finally revealed. But thank you so much for joining me today, Thomas.
Thank you for having me on this industry talk. And I look forward to future ones as well if you ever want me.
Absolutely. We'll definitely have you back on and we'll definitely talk more of your Mario Kart and more of your professional career as well as new things come out. And for everybody watching, thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure to subscribe and check out NintendoFuse for all your Nintendo news, games, reviews, podcasts, game chats, and other industry talks like this. Again, I'm Barry. Thank you so much for joining me and have a great day. Take care.